Klarna's losses just doubled, and no, you still can't repossess a burrito. With bad debt up 17% and $136 million in losses, Klarna's buy now, pay later model is cracking. High volume, low margin plays work until people stop paying. Add a delayed IPO and rising delinquencies, and it's starting to look like BNPL's hangover is here. Watch the full video, because when debt gets this dumb, even guac can't save it.
Gary, you mentioned it. We're going to be talking Klarna. Klarna is one of the largest buy now, pay later, BNPL for short, providers that are out there in payment processing. You're going to tell us more about burrito-backed securitizations here, Gary, which I'm sure some of you out there are saying, what the hell are these guys talking about? Thing number 5, Klarna's credit loss dilemma. What do we need to know?
Yeah, this is going to lead to a huge problem, Rob. Klarna is one of the biggest buy now, pay later payment processing companies. Buy now, pay later has gotten big, right? At this point, it's over $1 trillion. I think a majority of young people are using it. It's more common for people to use it than not. And unsurprisingly, more consumers are starting to fall behind on their payments, which is a huge problem for Klarna. It's also going to be a problem for those lenders because those losses, those non-payments are going to be calculated in people's credit ratings. So everybody's going to be unhappy with this. Last quarter, Klarna saw a 17% rise in consumer credit losses, reaching $136 million. That's a big number, right? That's a problem. And especially with more consumers falling behind, it's only going to get worse. Klarna last month delayed their US IPO. This is not going to make it better. And right now, Klarna's credit losses as a share of total volume isn't a big number. It's well under 1%. That's a healthy number, but part of the problem is these loans are non-recourse, right? We joke about, burrito-backed securitizations, but there's nothing to repossess. So those losses are 100% losses, and they go straight to the bottom line. To give you a sense, in the last quarter, Klarna saw a 110% increase in total losses year over year. They went from 47 million of losses to 99 million of losses. Well, guess what? More than half of that increase was the increase in their bad debt and their consumer credit losses, right? 17% of 136 million. You're talking about half the difference there. And so, it's really hard to do an IPO right when your credit statistics are cratering and when your losses go from 47 million to 99 million, right? You want to see, as the business grows, you want to see scaling. It's okay if they're losing money, but you want to see, as the revenue goes up, their losses come down and you see a path to profitability. Klarna's going the opposite direction. As their revenue goes up, their losses are increasing. It's very hard to do an IPO, an initial public offering, a first sale of the company's stock to the public markets when your finances look like that.
Gary, what could be the cause of these credit losses rising? I mean, do you think it is kind of more macro environment, people getting squeezed, or is this a situation where you have, a unique product and I guess a cool, exciting product, right? But maybe a product that shouldn't be in the hands of some of these consumers that really just don't understand basic finance and are overspending based on this access to this credit that they now had, or now that they now have that they didn't have before, right at their fingertips.
So I think we have two problems. One, Rob, is inflation is really a problem for people. And when you look at long-term statistics, I'm talking about over 40 or 50 years. Over the last 40 or 50 years, American workers have not had a real increase in salaries. And somebody might say, well, no, I make so much more money now than my dad did 40 years ago. And that's true on a nominal basis, but what your dad could buy 40 years ago with his salary might have been bigger and better or more comfortable than what people now can buy. And we hear all these stories of people who graduate college with 4-year degrees, and they might be making, $60,000, $70,000 in a first job, which seems pretty good, right? But if for that job, they've got to live in or near a big city. Good luck paying the rent on that. And then, having some money to clothe yourself or go out or pay your cable bill, or your cell phone bill. The point of all this is congressional overspending has led to dollar debasement, inflation, and people are not staying ahead of inflation. The value of your dollars are decreasing faster than people are getting raises. And so we're starting to see people using buy now, pay later for DoorDash orders. And that's what leads to, all the jokes about repossessing a burrito, or, we want the securitization for the people who ordered extra guacamole. Um, but the fact is, when people are using financing for their dinner order or their grocery bill, it's a sign that there's some real financial stress, and that's not a good thing. The other problem is we have an educational system that is designed to ensure that our young people are financially illiterate. Now, we're doing everything we can to address that here on this show, and we want to help people. But, people are graduating from high school right now with no sense of how finance works, how economics works. Most people can't balance a checkbook, right? Even basic things. And so, we keep seeing all of these videos, and don't get mad at me for this. This is, what other people do. But I'm sure you've seen, Rob, like the girl math videos where they say, hey, if I buy something and then I return it to the store, then I can take the money they gave me and spend it, and that's free, right? But the fact is, it's their money and they're spending, and it's not free. And so buy now, pay later is leading to a lot of like girl math kinds of things. Again, don't get mad at me. It's not my expression. They're the ones talking about it. But they're basically saying, if I buy something today and don't have to pay for it today, it's free. And the bill that I'm going to get in a month, that's for future me. I don't have to think about that. And I've seen enough videos on this to believe there are a lot of people thinking this way. And I've actually read statistics that young people somehow they use buy now, pay later regularly. And then a week later, a month later, they get the bill for it and they're surprised. They say, I don't understand. How is this working? Why am I getting a bill? Right? And it literally, it's not even occurring to people that if you buy something using buy now, pay later and don't have to pay for it at point of purchase, I think a lot of people are thinking, well, it's free. I don't have to pay for it. Well, it's not. You're going to pay for it. You're just going to pay for it later or with a destroyed credit rating. So I think, girl math jokes aside, I think we have a lot of people, both men and women, who have this really weird idea that if you don't pay for something at the point of purchase, it's free. And the only thing I can tell you is it's not. Please do not use buy now, pay later for things you can't afford. The bill will come due, right? It's better to spend less or delay purchases. Now, look, if it's food, I get it. What are you going to do? Everybody has to eat. There's no way around it. But for those of you who are watching this, please be careful using buy now, pay later. It's something we've talked about regularly over the last year. I don't like to see people getting into trouble. I don't like to see American citizens getting into trouble. I don't like to see our viewers getting into financial trouble. We're trying to explain this stuff to help people stay out of it.
Yeah, great explanation there, Gary. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to type into the show, leave a comment on this video, and we'll get back to you ASAP.